can, if you're using a phone, click the app, and then you go to more where there is reactions. When you click reactions, you'll see where it says raise hand. So you click raise hand, then I'll have you as a teacher introduced so that the people here can begin to talk to you. So if you're a teacher, and then I'm going to spotlight you so that you can be able to talk. Let me start with the, wow, I'm seeing quite a number of colleagues. This is very, very nice. So let me start with Mr. Charles Kagoye. Mr. Charles, please unmute and then introduce yourself. Charles.
Good afternoon, Golooba, and good afternoon, the rest of the members.
Good afternoon.
Yeah,
Charles.
my name is Brother Charles Dominic Kagoye. Sacred Heart Chitered in Chotera is my school. And I'm a teacher in practice of geography. And I'm happy to be here this afternoon as we start our second session of this lesson. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're most welcome. We are delighted to see you here today. I'm going to Madame Bernadette Kedi. Madame.
Hello. This is Kedi Bernadette from St. Mary's College, Kisubi, teacher of geography. Thank you for the meeting. Thank you for all arrangements.
Then Mr. Ambasani, I'm not seeing you, but please, Mr. Ambasani, introduce yourself.
Oh, very good.
The connection.
Okay, fine.
Oh, maybe we've lost him. He's here. Wow, you are here. But we can't hear you. I think you are muted. Mr. Ambassador, you're still muted.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, now you are. Now we hear.
All right. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody here. And thank you very much, Mr. Kalema, for organizing this. It's nice being part of this fraternity. My name is Stephen Donald Basani. I teach at Kololo Senior Secondary School. Good afternoon.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Most welcome, Mr. Ambassador. And then Mr. Wawire.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sorry, my concern is about the chat room, which is disabled.
Oh, yeah. Your chat room says disabled. Okay.
Yes.
It is now open.
Yeah, thank you. That was my concern.
Okay. It is now enabled. I think my co-host could have disabled it just to ensure that you get the link. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And you are a teacher?
Yes, I'm a teacher,
and
although not for geography specifically.
But where do you teach?
But I have students joining in live from now.
Okay. Which school are you?
Attached to Sacred Heart today.
Okay, thank you. We are delighted
where
to have
Brother
you.
Charles is. Where Brother Charles is. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And if any of the teachers would like to record, we can make you a co-host at some point when the discussion is ongoing. Mr. Asea, I would love to make you a co-host so that should you wish to record, you can be able to do that. So let me make you a co-host and that will enable you to mute and unmute yourselves. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, quickly, Mr. Namidaal, I know you are there. Kindly introduce yourself. switch your camera on and introduce yourself, Mr. Namidaal. Mr. Namidaal?
Yes, I'm on.
Kindly introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Namidaal Abubakar, a teacher of geography and history in Namidaal Girls School. Yeah,
Great.
You.
Okay. So the reason for which we are here today, colleagues, is to discuss geography. Specifically today, we are going to be talking about fieldwork. Photograph interpretation. How did this come about? We all know that we are in the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. We are at home. The learners have to continue learning, and the teachers have chosen to support you. So we are delighted that quite a number of teachers have come up to support and continue the learning process. We are so happy that you, the students, have made it a choice today to be with us. And we pledge to continue supporting you every now and then. This week, we are doing paper 1. Hopefully, we shall have opportunity to do other papers as we move along. Mr. Kagoi Charles, who has been teaching paper 2, has accepted to handle a workshop at some point in time. We know that other teachers will be coming in, those who teach paper 3, to also volunteer sometime. At some point, we hope that we will be able to get additional support from different people as our work gains traction. So we are happy, and we are gazetting a Wednesday, 2:30 to 4 every day, every week, so that we can use it for geography. Hopefully, we shall have opportunity to study other subjects. I am a teacher at Namidaal Girls School. My name is Ayub Golooba Kalema. I'm also a member of the project implementation team of the Holistic E-Learning Project in Uganda. We do hope that we connect those 2 entities and the other entities to continue teaching you. Today, we have photograph interpretation, and the teachers here will be guiding you. But we shall have a main teacher who will be leading the sessions, and that will be Mr. Asea Solomon. Mr. Asea Solomon is an experienced geography teacher. Personally, I knew him several years ago when he was still a teacher at Gayaza High School. He now teaches at St. Mary's College, Kisubi. Mr. Asea, you're most welcome to take us through your package on photograph interpretation. I see that the chat rooms are open. I am going to close to mute all people. Please use the chat room. We shall open the chat room, but we shall mute everyone. If you want to have a question, if you want to ask during the lesson, please raise your hand, and then we shall choose you. Mr. Asea, most welcome. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Much, Ayub Golooba, for this innovation of trying to the lockdown, whereby we're able to discuss and learn or teach online. Last week we had some session, but there was so much to be covered. I rough concerning photographic interpretation, but I don't think people could have picked. I wish to
Mr. Asea, unmute yourself.
Mr. Asea,
okay. You. I had been muted. Okay, sorry,
yes.
Sorry.
Yeah,
okay.
Because
I was saying that yeah, I'm going to be the lead discussant. There are several other people who are here. We have Madam Kedi. We'll have Stephen Mbasani. All these are senior people and experienced as far as of photographic interpretation is concerned. So now I would wish Photographs. Photographs are a way of studying geography. Just as you could have started during your when you are teaching the S1s, you start with what geography is, the sources of geographical information. Some of the sources could be textbooks, could be video documentaries, could be the internet, could be field work, which is the key. The most important, the central nervous system of geography is the thing which has been documented, whether in form of pictures, in form of a video, is because of what? Field work. So field work is very important. Then photographs. Photographs are just one of them. We use photographs, like if this is a level, we use photographs in geography. Photographs in the geography paper 3 for studying the various human features. Could be transport. Use photographs for studying. So photographs are an important aspect of studying geography. But in geography paper 1, there is something which is further looked into, how they assess in interpreting photographs, whether you could have used the photograph for understanding world problems and development. In geography paper 1, there is what we refer to as photographic interpretation, and is some compulsory section. So we need to know some of the skills to handle photograph work. So slide I'm going to share with you here, which has a there's this slide. Okay, now something, okay. Photo, we're going to deal with the photo reading and photographic interpretation. Me clearly, photo reading and photographic interpretation, that is all about which is normally assessed in geography paper 1, whether O level or A level, but for KCI it is A level, that is geography paper 1. Now, first, photographs. What are the various types of photographs? Photographs may either be photographs, ground photographs, that is a surface photograph. Why aerial? The last time I said that aerial because it was taken from the air. A cameraman is on the ground. And in case it is the ground, it is either the land surface, can be land surface or water surface, land surface or water surface. And on the other hand, the photograph can be underwater. Because the water, I mean the ocean floor or the lake floor, that is viewed as still part of. And we said that these photographs, whether aerial or ground, may in turn be horizontal vertical, may in turn be vertical or oblique, that is inclined at an angle. So the aerial and the ground photographs, the common ones we already know, this is not something new, the aerial vertical and aerial oblique photographs. Then we have the ground oblique and the photographs. Horizontal, it depends on the orientation of the camera. That it is horizontally. If it is oblique, at an angle, it is at an angle. The same applies to aerial vertical, that is vertically below. We shall see more about those ones. You may see is what is a ground photograph. The cameraman was, now with this photograph, you may learn a lot as far as the activity is concerned. Here, the main activity you may see there is tea growing. What the people are doing they're picking or plucking tea. The land uses you may see there agricultural. In the middle ground, you see some settlements there. In the background, you see trees there, forestry, which may be forestry. There are even some roads there. Road transport, or land being used for transportation. So this shall also see how we can be able to describe features or locate features on photograph. Now, this other one here. This other one here is a what? Is a the underwater photograph. And it can be brought for you. How do you tell it is an underwater photograph? From the features you can see, and also from those scuba divers. Those scuba divers may see, even from the fish. You may possibly be something like draw a landscape sketch. Draw a landscape sketch of the area. Need mark and name the main landform feature in the foreground, landform feature. Mark the fish, scuba divers, the scuba divers. Account for the formation of the landform feature, shown in the foreground. Account for the formation of the landform feature in the foreground. Then, what have been there? The benefits of the landform feature as shown in the foreground to the people in where this photograph would have been taken stay. So in a brief, and also where do you think this photograph would have been taken? Okay, for your own, to save time, we may say that this photo is of the foreground is this is a coral platform. This is a coral reef. Yeah, it's a coral reef. So the rest of the questions, I think you can be able to answer from them. But otherwise, I was just trying to show that the type of photograph, partly also, which is part of the ground photographs that we may consider. Now, going to the aerial photographs, types of aerial photographs, we have the aerial vertical photographs and we have the aerial oblique photographs. So aerial photographs, these are taken vertically or near right angles to the ground. The characteristics, we shall see them what? Ahead. Oblique photographs, aerial oblique photographs. These are taken they're from the air, from the air, and are taken at an angle tilted away from the vertical. Aerial oblique photographs can be high oblique or low oblique. So oblique photographs can be high oblique or low oblique. Even ground oblique can either be high or low. How or why? Now, this is an image to illustrate the vertical photograph. That is the plane. The camera is in the plane, taking vertical below. We say that's area vertical. The characteristics, we shall see them ahead. Then oblique at an angle, the tree, as you may see there. Also there, oblique, while the other one is what? Is vertical. Vertical directly below, directly below. Now, the other time we say the area oblique photograph could be the types of area oblique photographs, either high oblique. So high oblique is taken with the axis of the camera tilted at a higher angle of about 60 degrees from the vertical position. It shows the surface, it shows the horizon. So if the camera is orientated in such a way that it is tilted away from the what? From the vertical, but still at an angle, it will be able to take part of the horizon and also part of the sky. That is what we refer to as a high oblique, because the angle from the vertical is high as far as 60 degrees. Low oblique is taken with the axis of the camera tilted at a low angle of about 30. It shows only the surface. It shows only the surface. So the high area oblique, low area oblique. So these are some of the what? The camera area photographs. This is the vertical one. This is the oblique, low oblique, taking the picture surface, while the field of view of the high oblique is here. So meaning that it takes part of the what will be taking quite an elongated area, field of view. Then this is how the action would appear for vertical photograph. Low oblique and high oblique, which shows as well. Now this photograph here, this type of photograph here is a low oblique, because it only shows the what? It just shows the ground surface. It is from the showing the ground alone. So it is a low oblique. And what does it show? Your focus is a meandering river. So here questions which may be asked may be related to the sinus nature of a river valley, which is normally in the senile or the. So here it is clearly shown. Now, because the questions could arise from that, but let us see the general aspects first. Now, this other one there, this one we said is a what? This one we said is a low oblique. This one is a high oblique because it shows the horizon. The horizon is there. The horizon is there. Then that is the sky. The foreground, the middle ground is there, then the background is there. With the oblique photographs and the ground photographs, features which are in the foreground appear bigger and clearer. Here may not appear, don't appear clear, and they're quite small. As we said, if we may now go back to our what? Our aerial photographs, characteristics of vertical aerial photographs. We have seen something about the oblique photographs, the aerial oblique photographs. Now here, that's the aerial, the vertical aerial photographs. The tops of objects that are seen, for example, the tops of trees and buildings. That's why normally when you are told to draw a landscape sketch, when you are told to draw landscapes, if a landscape sketch of an aerial vertical, a map that you draw, you cannot draw the landscape sketch. You have to draw the map because now the photo covers an extensive area, very wide area, as we shall see. Then objects appear very small in size. There's nothing like the foreground or background, but small in size. Then water bodies absorb light. That is why they may appear dark or black. Similarly, forests absorb. That is for the case of the black and white photographs that we are commonly used in our exams. Otherwise, if it wasn't because of costs, it would be good to use the colored photographs. Light and appear white, and then appear white. The objects appear below the observer. The above, so you're seeing things directly below, just their tops. Then the photograph shows a lot of detail from both physical and man-made features. There are so many other things. If it is a ground photograph, what you just see is what is close to you. What is farther away? But that one can be avoided by if you take an oblique photograph or an oblique. What is close to you and also what is behind you. But with the aerial oblique and aerial vertical photographs, a lot is seen. It covers a very wide area. And so, though small, then there is no visible horizon. That's completely no. It is only with the heart that we see the horizon. So there's no visible horizon. Okay, those are some of the characteristics of an aerial photograph. Presume for the ground photographs, we may be knowing more. A photograph. You can see, as we say, it is black and white. This is a one. The river, that's why we say that they appear dark. The forest also here may appear also dark. The roads being bare appear white because of reflecting light. So bare grounds may also appear white. Here with the skills of remote science, you can see the roads, you can see some feature here, which is I think a waterfall. Waterfalls are here. feature here, possibly a dam, and this one here connecting, this could possibly be a bridge, So one has got to observe clearly and be able to interpret or figure the features. So this is an aerial photograph. Another one here. An aerial photograph here. You can see. This is the road. Settlements are here. You can tell the settlement, the nature of the settlement pattern in this part of there. You can see here what features this one. What features are these? These features here, you can clearly see that there are trees. Then this is a water body, the river. Then this road continues, goes across the what? The river here, meaning that this is a bridge. This is a bridge connecting the two what? Banks. This large building here, a factory premises, also a factory premises. Otherwise, someone's household will not be like factories or warehouses or and so on. Housing estates are here. Also, these could be labor lines. The grid settlement pattern. Now, locational, let us of features, location of features on a photograph, or parts or division. So photographs, when answering questions about photographs has been given, and you want to figure out someone, you have got to describe the location of that feature. In maps, we talk of the east, the west, the south, but in photographs, that is not applicable. Features on a photograph. So parts or divisions of photograph. We have the foreground, which is close to the what? The cameraman were featured. Then the background towards the very end where far from the farther background where features don't appear clear. Then also, so these ones, the foreground, middle ground, background, give us the horizontal divisions or parts of a photograph. While there are also the vertical divisions, the right, the middle, and the left parts. You can see there. This one here, close to the cameraman, is the what? Is the foreground. The middle ground here, the background here. Then where so where the horizon ends is where the what? The background ends. Otherwise, this other one here could not be referred to the sky. But there are times when there could be some clouds over the what? The background. And you can be asked about the nature of the clouds. Are they low clouds? Are they stratus clouds, cumulus clouds? Cumulus clouds are towering. So the horizon is here. So just next the horizon, then the foreground where features appear big. Then these are the horizontal divisions of a photograph. Now the vertical divisions of a photograph, here, the vertical divisions of the photograph. We said the middle part and the right part, the left, the middle, and the right part. Okay. Is someone, I don't know whether we can, someone, is it Chitaka, has raised the hand. Okay. Now, Now, those divisions, the vertical and the horizontal divisions, when put together, there are 9 parts or subdivisions of a photograph. There can be 9 at times when they may even be what? They may even be 4. No, they may be 8, where they just have background. And the Kitaka, possibly you'll be, I don't know what the problem is, but I hope you can be able to handle. They're putting up their hands. The 9 parts. We have the
allow you to go through for this first part, and then we let you handle.
Then yeah, later on they can be able to ask them. Okay, thank you. So we said the vertical divisions here, the right, the middle, and the left. The what? With the horizontal divisions of parts, the background, the middle ground, such that you have the left background here, left middle ground here, and so on and so forth. This may not be pretty new. This is what we also in all level we may have covered. So the 9 divisions, to bring to the attention, because they could have possibly asked you that with evidence from there, what economic activities are there? Then possibly in this part of the photograph, there could have been a group of trees. Then you say forestry as shown in the right background of the forestry, because of the trees or forest. The trees and indicated where they are. So you have given the evidence, and have located the what? The evidence. And that is the evidence of what? Of photo reading. What they want is
we are having an issue from Mr. Asea's side. Let us give it a minute as we see whether he gets back on. Okay. In the meantime, kindly check the chat room. We have sent you the form for registration. We have sent the registration form. Okay. So we're checking the chat room as we wait for Mr. Asea to come back. He has had a technical challenge, so bear with us. We'll be getting back. As we wait for Mr. Namidaal, kindly monitor if Mr. Asea gets back in time. You could keep monitoring his line. Let us at this time look at the chat room. We read some of the comments there, and then if there are questions, we'll have teachers who are in the chat, who are here, make some remarks as we wait for Mr. Asea to get back. So bear with us at this time. Okay, I'm headed to the chat room. I see a hand up. I think this could be Mr. Ndego. The person whose phone is reading Technopop 5, and I see your hand up. I suspect this is Mr. Ndego. Kindly speak up. You can unmute and then speak. Hello, Technopop 5. Is this Mr. Ndego? Okay. Check the chat room, please. And then, okay. Meanwhile, Charles, I see your hand up. Oh, just a moment. Let me check on Techno first. I think he was having a challenge.
The technical problem. Okay. So you are picking some questions.
Thank you, Mr. Asea. You are back. Let us first give you a chance to continue.
Okay.
Let us give you a chance to continue since you are back. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. The network issues. Okay, so we're looking at the 9 parts of the photo. Background or foreground. It doesn't have that. It has the top part. There's a top part of the photograph, the center part, and the bottom part. But just like the other, the oblique and the ground photographs, it has the right, middle, and the left parts. So top, middle. This is some important thing to note. We have given the divisions of, but that's why I'm here saying that, however, the parts or divisions of the photograph may depend on the inclination of the axis of the camera, how the camera was tilted or orientated. Because if you are used or you have your anything which is further, I mean anything in a certain position is what is background or is a foreground, then you may be what disappointed. Just like with this photograph I'm going to share here. This photograph, if I may ask you, which part of the photograph is this where the cursor is? Which part of the photograph? I asked some students and they said this is the what? Background. But is this really the background? This is not what? Background. You can see the features here appear, they are close to the cameraman and they appear big and clear. So you cannot say that is the part of the background. All this is because of the way that's why I'm saying that foreground, one could possibly say here is foreground, middle ground, background. Yes. You.
I see that some people are raising their hand, and that's good. I would like to encourage you, instead, while the presenter is on, kindly use the chat room, because we are many, we will not be able to pick everyone. So kindly type the question in the chat room. We are monitoring the chat room, putting the questions together so that you can be able to. We have also posted the registration form in the chat room. Kindly register so that we can contact you next time as we move forward. Thank you, Mr. Asea.
Okay. Ayub, for everything, yeah. So this is what I was saying. Before that, I had however, parts or divisions of a photograph may depend on the inclination of the axis of the camera, just like here. This left part of the photograph, this left part of the photograph is the foreground, as you can see. The background is there. The background is in the right. You can see that. So, but otherwise, the basic concept of divisions of a photograph are the ones we had seen earlier on. Be mentally set that this part is the background. Description of features, of physical features. So we have been asked to talk about some of these physical features like the landforms, but I think we shall see how to describe them generally when we are dealing with the questions. So description of physical features on a photograph and processes for their formation. In photographic interpretation, then you may be asked to identify some landform feature. But what landform feature is? Possibly it could be a hill, or it could be an isobag. You may not know, but then the next question is, how was it formed? How was the landform formed? So then there, analyzing its appearance and the nature, you can be able to describe. You can be able to describe either by explaining the tectonic process or some exogenic process which could have modified it. Then also drainage features and their patterns in a photograph. We ask questions about it. Vegetation types could be grassland, could be forests, and so on and so forth. You can be able to also describe. So these are the various physical features. Things like the landforms, things like the vegetation types, and so on. Then also description of weather in the area shown on the photograph. Just like this other one here, you can see in the right middle ground or foreground, you can see here this type of weather condition. This is fog. This is a weather condition that you can be asked. The question can be explain. Account in the right middle ground of the area. So that is fog. So you have got to explain how fog is formed. And so that's why I'm saying description of weather or climatic conditions expressed in the area shown in the photograph. Precipitation could be rain, then the cloud cover, explaining the nature, how the clouds and what they signify. Could be fog, temperatures, and the factors influencing the weather. All these conditions or factors could be brought about. Land use and economic activities. Apart from the physical features, land use and economic identification and description. Like that time we saw land use being what? Tea growing. Then factors influencing the land use or the conditions affecting the land use. Suggested problems from the land use or economic activity. Suggested problems from the land use activity. Questions may revolve to interpret what you see on the photograph. Then also solutions to the problems or measures being taken to solve the problems. There are times you may see an area has terraces. So the terrace would possibly mean that of soil erosion, and the terraces or the bands are being counter that problem. Then relationship between phenomena in the area shown on the photograph. Relationship between relief and the land use, between the drainage, and the land use. So it needs to be valid geographical what? Relationships, because we know geography deals with what? With of a landscape sketch of the area shown on the photograph. Yes, yeah, the landscape sketch must have its features. The landscape sketch must have a descriptive title. Descriptive title, it must be in a frame, there must be a frame, and there must be a key. Labeling or a key. So descriptive title, a frame. From drawing. Where in East Africa could the photograph have been taken? Now, like this photograph here. Africa, do you think this photograph could have been taken? So it is, one has got the major features. So this is the relief. It must be an area which is what? Which is hilly. It must be a hilly area, which is also well vegetated and experiences what? Fog. So such areas in East Africa may include areas like in Kabale, Kisoro. That there should be such thing. You need also to employ your general knowledge of geography in order to figure out areas where the photograph could have been taken. So otherwise, that is some general thing. I've seen there could be so many questions from the chat there. People have been putting up their hand. So for the time being, we've gone through the main structure. There are several other things that people may ask. Some of you may have specific questions. Now, I think I'll wish to stop here and over to the moderator so that the lead discussant. There are other people who also there are several geographers or supplement or be able to answer some of the questions you may have posed, but I will also be ready to repeat or answer some of your questions. So thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Yeah. So I think now I can have you, Ayub, so that you can be able to moderate or coordinate the question and.
Thank you very much, Mr. Asea, for that presentation. We are truly grateful. There were a number of questions that people had. I think we could start with those, but I wanted to mention quickly that some people had technical challenges, not hearing. Those, I think Mr. Namidaal gave you some assistance. I saw he was responding to you. Some of you might want to learn how to tap and join audio, but we shall do that as we move along. The link, we have shared the link in the chat room. I see that 28 people have already registered. Some of you had the challenge. Kindly check again. The link works. Please register. In the room, we have 83, so we're expecting to see your names there. The benefit of registration, we are able to follow up to work with you as you work with us. So kindly register so that we can serve you better. Again, some people have been saying, please send the notes on WhatsApp. When we register you, we'll upload the notes in a central location so that you can have access. That is why we want you to register. It can be tedious having to send every day to different people. So that is the purpose of registration. It will allow you to access the resources. Mr. Asea, a few questions came up as you presented, and I am going to project them here quickly, and then we will have a chance to talk about them. I haven't captured the names because some of them were direct messages, but one said, I did not understand how to locate the parts I think we could have a quick review. Some people came in when you had gone over the regions of the photograph. So that's an area we might want to have a quick review. Then could Mr. Asea talk about divisions of an aerial photograph? So how do we describe the regions of an aerial photograph? The third one was, teacher, are we allowed to draw those lines when answering exams? This question came in when you showed the lines, the divisions of the photograph. And therefore, I think the question is, when we have those, when we are given a photograph and we are drawing a landscape sketch, should we also draw the lines that divide the photograph when answering those questions? And then someone said, here they were responding to WhatsApp. They said, yeah, those notes are important. If you could kindly share them. So this one was responding to another saying, would like to have the lessons, the notes shared. Those questions are available. If you are a teacher and you'd like to comment, please go ahead. But if we don't have comments, we'll let Mr. Asea comment. The chat room is still open, but these are the questions that I captured. If you have a question that we never captured, please feel free to give it to us. I'm stopping sharing so that we can now hear from the people on the floor. Thank you. I see one hand is up already. Is it a question? I hope it's not a question. We'll take these questions first, and then we have additional questions. So Mr. Kalunji, is it a question or you're answering a question? Mr. Kalunji, go ahead before Mr. Asea comes in or other teachers. Mr. Kalunji, please unmute. Asking a question. Okay. Pardon? Sorry, we are not able to hear you. Could you move nearer to your phone? Mr. Karunji, move nearer, move the phone nearer to your mouth. We are not able to hear you.
Because the steep slope. So I was like requesting the chat to give
sorry, I have not managed.
Mr. Golooba, let him type his question in the inbox.
Please type the question. We are unable to hear you.
Type the question in the inbox that we can answer it. Thank you.
We are going to be waiting for your question in the chat room. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's go to other teachers first, and then eventually Mr. Asea. Is there a teacher who would like to comment quickly before Mr. Asea comes in? Another teacher would like to comment? So we see Bernadette, Madam Kedi. Madam Kedi, kindly open your microphone.
Hello.
Hello,
Mr.
Madam.
Asea, yes, please. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes.
Mr. Asea, thank you so much for the explanations.
You're welcome.
There's someone who asked, was wondering how to identify the parts in the photographs. There was that question that was raised asking, did not understand how the divisions are, how to identify the divisions in the photograph. I want to dwell on that one. The first thing you do is, if you are given a photograph, you need to identify what type of photograph it is. Mr. Asea has already told us about the ground photographs, the aerial photographs, and the different types. Now, if it is a ground photograph, you have beyond doubt identified that it's a ground photograph, and look at it and see the characteristics. I think I remember Mr. Asea saying for ground photograph, the photographs, you definitely see, sometimes you see a horizon. So if the horizon is there, you need to now look at how to divide. I always advise students to divide this photo. If it were possible, they could even measure. They measure to divide 1, the horizontal parts, 2, the vertical parts. Mr. Asea, if you could give us a shot of one of those ground photographs on your screen so that the learners can look at a typical ground photograph and how to divide them. So step 1, identify the type of photograph. If it is ground photograph, get your ruler, and on the lower part of that photograph, measure that distance covered by the photograph and divide into 3 so that you have the left, on your left hand, as you are looking at the photograph, on your left hand, that is the left part. Then the right hand, on your right hand, that is the right part. Then the middle is in the middle. So the 3 vertical divisions, after you have measured, divide them into 3, and you will have got your 3 divisions: the left, the middle, the right. Are we together? So divide that. Now, when it comes to the horizontal parts, please look at where the horizon is. Do not measure up to the sky. Please look at where the land meets the sky, the horizon. That area which seems to meet the sky, that is where you stop. Look at the feature, look at the land, the part of the land which is high in the background, and measure, put your ruler, measure that part on that margin of the photo, measure it and divide it also into 3. So when you divide into 3, you have the lower part is now your foreground. Then you have the middle one is now your middle ground. And then the rest now is your background. But remember, the sky does not, is not your background now, okay? So you have to be very careful there. Do not divide this photo, the horizontal divisions, do not divide them up to the sky, up to the end of the photo, especially if the sky part is big. So be very careful. Just look at that land which is meeting the sky, and that's where your divisions will stop. So now when you divide the vertical and the horizontal parts, you will get the 9 parts, okay? Like Mr. Asea had given already, the 9 parts now become very clear. I think I have tried, I don't know. Mr. Asea, you can add.
Thank you very much, Madam Kedi. How about, possibly you could also throw more light on the one of the aerial photograph. There is one who said about the aerial photographs, whereby we don't have the background, the middle ground, and the foregrounds. Yeah. The of an aerial vertical photograph. The horizontal divisions.
Okay. Now, if it is aerial, so now if the photo you have is aerial vertical, so that means you are going to divide the parts, the vertical parts as it is. You get your ruler, you measure the lower part of that photograph, and you divide into 3 parts, and you'll have your left still, your right, and your middle part. Now, aerial photos are divided up into parts, like Mr. Asea has said. So I'm also emphasizing aerial photographs are divided up into parts, but ground photographs are divided up into grounds. So be very careful about that language that is supposed to be used for ground photos and for aerial photographs. Now, for aerial photos, the vertical parts, you do the same. Get your ruler, measure, get the centimeters, divide them into 3, and divide them into 3 parts. That is the left, the middle, and the right. Now, when it comes to the horizontal divisions, we are not talking about grounds now. We are talking about the upper or top. You divide. Now, divide the whole photo. Measure the whole photo on that margin. At the side, measure it fully, because the camera is looking at the area of concern, the area of interest from above. So you are going to measure the photograph, all of it, the whole of it, into 3 parts on that side, so that now you have 3 divisions. So after you've done that, you can draw those lines to show the demarcations. Draw those lines so you'll have the upper or top part. Then you have the middle part. Then you have the bottom or lower part. So those are the divisions. Now, when you draw all those lines now, you still get the 9 divisions for aerial photographs. Aerial photographs in parts. So you'll have at the top, the left upper part, or you could say the left top part. Then you go to the top or middle part, top or upper part. Then you have the right upper part or top part. Then you come to the middle, left middle part, central middle part, then the right middle part. Then you come to the bottom or lower part, the left lower part or bottom part, the middle bottom part or lower part, and the right lower part or bottom part. And therefore, those are now 9 divisions. So what is the difference between the ground photograph and the aerial photo? It's just the language. So there's a language for aerial photographs and there's a language for ground photographs. Thank you, Mr. Asea. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Kedi, for all that, and for making what life easier. I hope now people have got it clearly. So, like this is, I hope we are looking at this shared here. This is an aerial vertical photograph. So you divide it into equally. It is now the whole photograph. Otherwise, with the ground one, you start from where the horizon is. If it is the ground or the oblique, ground oblique, high oblique, you start from where the horizon is. But with this one, it is the entire picture because horizon. So you divide it into 3 parts. Here, the upper part or the center or the middle part is here. Then the lower or the bottom part is here. So then the vertical divisions remain, so that you can have the right, and you can have the right top part. You can have the right bottom part, the left bottom part, like that. So they also have those 9 subdivisions or parts of an aerial photograph. Okay. Then there was something forgotten, but the other one was about drawing of those lines. So someone asked that I'm not a sketch, but a landscape sketch of the aerial photograph. Do you have to include these lines? No, you may not have to include these lines. These lines are just here to guide you, to show that this is the background, this is the middle ground, and then the one which is close to the cameraman is the one. You may not need to include these lines. These lines are the imaginary, but just for purposes of the various divisions. When you have been asked to do a landscape sketch, these lines are not necessary. You may not draw them. Then as far as the notes are concerned, yes, of course, I will start to polish up the things. There is some diagram which I think I include it. I'll start to include it. Then I'll send the slide to share with you people as requested. Thank you. So I don't know whether there are some other questions.
There are many others. Yes, let us share with you some of the additional questions. So there are many more questions. Okay. Let me see. Master, other examples of other relief features apart from steep slopes? I think is asking, can a photograph show other relief features apart from steep slopes? The next one, teacher, I would like to know if in the photograph we have a hill or mountain. So if we have a photograph, is it possible to have a hill? Is it possible to have a mountain? Which one do we have in a photograph? Which one can we have in a photograph? Then thank you so much, all teachers that are involved. So teachers who are involved, the students, the learners are asking you, probably even teachers. And then, hello, I'm Anita. How do you identify a volcanic mountain or a block mountain on a photograph? I think those are the ones I captured. We could answer those. We have now 10 minutes only. Let's see if we have live voices as well, because that could as well spice up our day if we have some live voices. Mr. Asea, as you answer, I'm going to encourage people to raise their hands so that we can hear what they have to say. But start with answering. We have about 10 minutes, then you will. Should I start with Tricia? Maybe we start with Tricia. Mr. Namidaal, kindly allow Tricia to speak before Mr. Asea. Tricia, kindly unmute. Priscilla, you'll be next.
Okay, thank you, sir. My question is, how do you differentiate between the settlements and then the boundary of a factory?
How, on a photograph, how do you distinguish between settlement
and then the boundary of a factory?
Boundary of a factory. Thank you, Tricia.
Yes, thank you so much.
Then let's see, Priscilla. Priscilla. Priscilla, and try to unmute. Okay. Priscilla, your microphone is open, but we are not able to hear you. Priscilla seems to be speaking, but I can't hear. Priscilla, try speaking louder. Your microphone is live.
Yes, I have. I was asking what is phenomenon.
Oh, sorry, Priscilla. We really wanted to hear what you said, but the audio has refused. Kindly type your question, then we shall have it. We'll still keep checking on you, but type the question. Mr. Asea and other teachers who would like to comment, this is the time. We have a few questions. How do you tell a volcano, a block mountain? Can you have a mountain? Do you have a hill on a photograph? And so questions like this. Mr. Asea.
Thank you very much, Ayub, and I wish to thank all those people who have raised some questions. Yeah, it is the process of doing what? Of learning. So now there is that question of a hill or a photograph. I mean, a hill or a mountain. Now, on a photograph, one can be able to, depending on the height of the what? Of the because on photographs we may have hills, raised lands, and that is clear. But there are times when it can actually be a what? A mountain. Like the many of you who have ever the Rwenzori what? Mountains, or Mount Kilimanjaro, Mount Meru. Some of you have seen some, but in a photograph. Would you say that it is just a mere hill? No. Now, what can guide you is now the issue of comparison of features. The nearby features, which could be at the foothills, compare the size with the height of the what? Of the raised land. If it is, it depends on how one can judge. It also requires some judgment that this is actually a photograph showing a very high hill. If it is a very high hill of more than 3,000 meters, and that, but there are some where you can actually see in the photograph that it is actually some low-lying hill. It is a raised, it is a hill or an upland. Otherwise, you could have the photograph of a mountain like a Mount Longonot. You know it's a mountain. Would you still go ahead and say that it is a hill? So there is what? Judgment. One can also, so that's why we talk of photographic interpretation. You've got to that element of comparison of what? Of the sizes. But otherwise, generally, we may encourage you to talk of a what? Of an upland or of hills. Otherwise, at times it may be very difficult to tell that it is a mountain. But there are some where you can clearly tell that it is a what? It is a mountainous area.
Okay.
The other one, okay,
should I project?
You can, yes. If you have, there are some images there. Hills and mountains.
No, I don't have the image right now because it's getting a little late. So I could search, but it's a bit getting a little.
I can get also, but time, yeah.
Yeah, time. We will have another lesson
from steep slopes.
Yes.
So then about other examples of relief features apart from steep slopes. So there are so many types of relief features. A hill is a relief feature. A steep slope is a relief feature. A gentle slope is a relief. Is a relief what? Feature. And the valley could be a U-shaped valley. It could be a V-shaped valley. An escarpment is a relief feature. So there are a number of that one can talk of valley, even gentle slope, a plateau. We have a mountain. We also have a volcanic plug. Can talk of and so many others. So a few things like this steep slopes. Then the other thing is the on a photograph telling between a settlement and a factory premises. I think the other time we saw which showed some what I described as a factory premises. they look like. Very wide area. So as seen from above, if an area covers a building covers a very wide area, enlarged in terms of area, and it may not necessarily even be storied. That is a what? A factory.
Okay.
The ordinary settlements, yeah, one can be able to, and they appear small, but the factory premises are actually big, wide, wide feature.
Thank you.
So, okay, and that was asking for the meaning of what? Photographic.
Phenomenon in relation, what does phenomenon mean? I would have wanted her to, or him, to throw a little more light on the question, but please go ahead.
Yeah.
So in photograph, what does phenomenon mean?
Phenomenon is a feature, So when we are talking about phenomena, so we mean phenomenon. It can be a physical feature or a human feature.
Okay.
A hill there can be is a phenomenon. A lake there is also a drainage feature. That is a phenomenon. So those are features.
Okay.
Features.
Thank you, Mr. Asea. Because of time, we could let you answer one more question, but I would like to make a request. The students who are here, hit the chat room, write down a topic that you would like us to handle as we move forward. I have already seen one. Someone is making a request that we should handle, we should explain the formation of tectonic features. But hit the chat room as we close so that we can pick your thoughts on which questions we need to handle next. Mr. Asea, there was this question which I thought needs answering, and if we don't answer many others more. Says, teacher, you say that we draw in aerial photographs, we draw the map of a photograph. What could you please talk a little bit more about that, please?
Okay, unless even someone who won't tell you to draw a landscape sketch. If it is an aerial photograph, landscape sketch, unless the person is also funny, they will tell you to draw a map. It is someone giving you an aerial photograph and wants you to sketch. You want and tells you that draw a landscape sketch in the photograph. Then that one. Otherwise, someone may not be knowing what the landscape sketch is. I think like a panorama, something like a panorama, a panoramic sketch of a photograph showing the landscape. Even in those who are doing fine art, there is a paper involved landscape drawing. To something as seen from above, where you are supposed to use plan symbols. So where you are using plan symbols is with an aerial vertical photograph. Aerial vertical photograph. So you have to draw a map. Who is also instructing you, unless it's a mistake, cannot tell you to draw a sketch map. A sketch map. I think you have also seen in some of the question banks, the NEB questions, if they are the aerial photographs, have they told you to draw a landscape sketch? No, they have been telling you to draw sketch maps, because the surface seen from above is a map. Is a map. So that is
okay. I hope we have not lost Mr. Asea. Mr. Asea,
Okay,
thank you very much. Time is surely not on our side. Ladies and gentlemen,
yes,
we have.
Okay, I'm still here.
Okay, thank you. So we have recorded the video. We have been streaming live on YouTube. So you can go back there and watch the video. We shall send the link to you on the WhatsApp channels that we use to reach you this time. We would like to thank you very much for attending this particular meeting, for being active and for your thoughts. At an administrative level, you've raised a number of topics. And the question is, yes, sir, Mr. Asea.
Okay, yeah, before you conclude, there was something about someone at block mountain and the volcanic mountain. Just very fast, yeah, volcanic mountains, yeah, most of them tend to be what? In form of cones. In form of cones, or they could also be what? They could be extended. Mountains, in most cases, many of them may have what? May have a crater. It can be possibly, but the block mountains, most of them are in form of what? Ranges. So that is the basic what? Distinction. Otherwise, if a volcanic mountain is in form of ranges, then the aspect of craters could help to distinguish. You can see how we can conclude then.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Asea. Before I close, there is a colleague who had been struggling to enter. Let me see if he's the one. Could this be Mr. Andego? Someone has techno and the hand is up. Please go ahead quickly. Unmute yourself, please. The hand is up. Unmute and talk. Okay. So there are a couple of teachers who were willing and eager to participate. Because of technology issues, some of them have not been able to participate and talk with us. Would like to thank them for trying. Would like to thank you all for the time, particularly Mr. Asea, for the preparation, for the delivery, for the patience. Thank you very, very much for that. I would also like to thank my colleague, Mr. Namidaal, who has been managing the back end together with me. Thank you. And to all the schools that have sent their students. Teachers who are here and you invited students, thank you very much. Dear students, let your parents know that we'll be here every Wednesday, God willing, to discuss geography. I have seen people asking a question, which other subjects shall we study? For the moment, for A level, we have volunteers for only geography. Hopefully we'll get more other volunteers in other subjects. And when we do, we shall communicate. Then the next question was, which topics are next? We are happy that you have sent us several questions, several suggestions of topics. We shall look at them. So thank you. As far as next week is concerned, we were planning to have paper 2 next week. And Mr. Charles, Brother Charles, Dominic, I think will be ready with us. Brother Charles, if you are still in the room, I could give you a minute to just tell them a little bit about what you have prepared for next week. Remember, we do have the notes written, at least for mining, for industry. You could log in. We shall send you the link. You read through such that when Brother Charles comes next week, it's more about a discussion than information. So we are hoping to have paper 2, but what we have confirmed is paper 1 and paper 2. At least we know we have volunteers in those 2 papers. We shall see what happens the week after. Mr. Asea, you have a chance to make a remark or 2 because I interrupted you when you are talking. Maybe you wanted to make some closing remarks, not necessarily a question. And then I hand over to Mr. Namidaal to say a comment and we close. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ayub. Yeah, in fact, I have no no comment, but just say thank the learners who are here with us for their interest in what. Also wish to thank the teachers who have been here and who have participated and who have been able to share as
Thank you, Mr. Asea.
Photographic.
And I'm delighted that Mr. Andego is here with us. Mr. Andego, kindly unmute and you make one remark.
Hello, Mr. Kalema.
Hello, Mr. Andego.
How are you, Sibo? Thank you very much for this show. Following, I would like to thank my colleague, Mr. Asea, for really bringing up the issues that are very, very difficult for students because most of the students don't know how to interpret. So I thank Asea very much for that contribution. And I believe our learners are going to benefit more. Say the next week shall be paper 2. We shall be there. We shall attend. And then the other week, I think we shall prepare paper 1 or paper 3 rather. And then otherwise, this is a very, very good innovation. And I would like to thank all the participants because it has been a very, very fruitful discussion. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you. Now, Mr. Namidaal, make the remarks and tell us the following. Mr. Namidaal.
Okay, I'm there. Okay. I want to thank the teachers who have helped us in teaching Mr. Asea. Thank you very much. And I want also to thank the learners who have tried their level best to be online to study. And as the team, we are going to be improved day and day. Just inform your friends that we are going to be having this lesson every Wednesday from 2:30 to 4. So we are going to be improving. The good thing today, people have tried to join. And yeah, that's all I have. But what we are promising you that we are going to give you the best. These teachers we are having, they are volunteering. Don't say that people are here, they are paid. No, teachers, they do it because they are teachers and they love their nation. And even you have to make sure that you register so that we can give access to the material which we are going to be creating with other teachers. So thank you for being on the lesson, and may the God bless you. Thank you.
Amen. And I've sent in the chat room the phone numbers of the teachers who have been, with us, some of them. Please register, because when you do, I've shared with only a few people. Please, when you do, we will be able to follow up and work with you. I'll be sharing other numbers, but kindly register if you already have not done so. I'm sending finally the registration paper, the registration form. So kindly register. The phone numbers are there. We shall keep working together. We shall meet next Wednesday. If you are in position to do so, please switch on your camera so that we can take a picture of the screen. Switch on your camera, smile into the camera, and then we just take one picture so that we have a record of what we have done today. So smile into the camera, okay? That is one. We've taken snap 1. I'm going to take snap 2. So I've just done 1. I want to take snap 2. Snap 2. Smile into the camera. Smile, smile, smile. You can even wave, no problem. You can even wave. Then I snap the camera. Yeah, I've done that one. So thank you very much. Let's meet next Wednesday. Spread the message. We are here. Thank you. Bye-bye. You we have unmuted. We are stopping recording. We'll leave the
Hello.
for a few minutes.
Mr. Lasamba Kajambo. Kajambo sebo wani onuka Andrew Nalume. Kadi sokulengera.
Ala siwesiga muzigo ki.
Abana b'Emmengo babaddeko.
Abana b'Emmengo babaddeko bawanike emikono. Musomesa waabwe waali. Students who are online, kindly raise your hands so that your teacher, Mr. Asea Solomon, can provide you.
Socialization. Thank you so much, Mr. Kalema.
You're welcome.
This is a very good arrangement.
Mr. Salasamba, tell these people about where you are, because we are talking geography. The people who don't know.
I have been quiet because my geography is almost fading, but I still have the interest for the subject. I'm away for study leave, but I will soon be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you. We are leaving the lines open in case you people want to chat with each other. We will close in 5 minutes from now. Thank you.